When playing games, it can be easy to engross yourself so much in the action that you forget about your surroundings, the house that you're in, the people you're around, the bills you haven't paid. But more importantly than all of that, it's easy to overlook the place the action is taking place in. The theatre of battle must take place on a stage, whether that stage be a helipad, a rift, or whatever the fuck this is. It's not exactly a table, I don't know what to call it. Today I want to take some time and talk about fighting games' most underappreciated area, quite literally, the stage. So, what makes a good stage? Well, that's a complicated question which comes down to a lot of personal preferences and biases. For example, would you consider this a bad stage? Alright, what about this? Okay, and this? If you said yes to all of these, then it's likely that the typical training stage isn't for you. With that said, there's lots of players who like this type of stage. The stereotypical padded cell is a comfy home for some, especially those who love studying the game, but it also holds a purpose even for the people that aren't too keen on being reminded of where they should rightfully be. With no obstructions in the foreground and background, with a consistent shade to see information on, it's a place of very little visual distraction, and so ends up being the tournament player's best friend. But fuck that. I'm a tournament player, but this shit makes me feel like I'm in secondary school getting bullied again because I didn't know if I liked men. Give me some weird shit. Chinatown Market, Subway, fucking boat, I guess. Stages that have a distinct vibe and a believable world outside of it, now that's my shit. And you know what game is great for that? Guilty Gear. Wait a minute, hold on. This is Gear?
Let's rock.
What the fuck is going on? Giant ass crater, trains, glorious, Nippon, fucking boat. Again, I love this game so much, and I think that distinct visuals going on in the background help to bring together a visual meal that make a 5-star restaurant look like a dog shit kebab van. So I like distinct places and visuals. Big fucking whoop. Surely every game can do that. Oh, okay, look, I love Tekken, but what the fuck is going on with your stages? Alright, Souk, that's a good stage. That shit's got a vibe to it, but this? Okay, let's remove literal duplicate stages recolored because there's quite a few games that have good stages that do that. These places just lack character. A crumbled city, meh. A jungle, meh. A volcano, why are there 2 volcano stages in a game and they feel the exact fucking same? I'll tell you why. Color palettes. Look at the palettes here. Where's the color? Everything's so grey. I feel like I'm reading the doujinshi with a fat ugly bastard. I get that Tekken is going for a more down-to-earth palette, but it's also a game where a bear fights a demon and a vegan streamer can go toe-to-toe with the worst interpretation of British culture alive. So I'd appreciate something to pop a little bit. And also if we could get a stage on a boat, that'd be nice, because most of the locations just feel a bit uninspired. Tekken has a massive array of characters from different cultures and backgrounds, so I'd wish they'd just use some of that to make inspired locations and not just infinite azure, but it's purple. I mean, just look at KOF. I mean, yeah, okay, might have made SNK almost go bankrupt, but they managed to make London look like a city that I actually want to visit, which is an achievement all in its own. The DLC stages do admittedly resolve quite a few of my issues. I love the Fakam stage, and even though you barely see it, the contrast between the start of the Howard Estate to the end of it is beautiful. But you know what game really does beautiful? Now, you're not allowed to tell anyone that I've played this game. I can't have that kind of blood on my hands, but BlazBlue knocks it out of the park. Look at this shit! Completely competitively unviable, but look at it! The colors, the character, the fucking dog! Doesn't have a boat stage, but goddamn, each stage has its own distinct ideas of what is visually striking, but it also retains the ability to fit into the universe. It's sick, and being able to have favorites and least favorites in a game like this is something that I think is more important than we give it credit. By having favorites and least favorites, you now have new choices that are made to you, even if they're not particularly important to the way that the game plays out. You know how you have your color for a character? Most fighting games don't have a wide variety of customizables, and so that small piece of personalization is important to me and quite a lot of other players. Everyone has their go-to stages, and they're stages that they think are particularly dog shit. That train stage in Guilty Gear, people fucking hate that stage. I wish people had more things that they could be passionate about that isn't inherently the gameplay. I think that that's one of the beauties of Tekken from a casual standpoint. Look at all this shit that you can do, and don't even get me started on Soul Calibur. That's actually just a completely different beast. I just wish there was some way to bring that level of choice and customization to the stage, but that'd just be impossible. So do you remember at the start of the video way back when I showed you this game? It's Legends of Runeterra, it's Riot's card game. One of the things that I think Runeterra does really well is presentation. Characters evolve nice, your little dumbass Poro does these dumbass animations, but your half of the board is customizable to look just a little bit different. Because every board is the same with the same rules, you have the ability to change the board on one side or the other without changing the way that the game is played. In doing so, you allow for the board to have your own side look a little bit different, have it a little bit customizable. Do you see where I'm going with this? What if, instead of having online matches where the stages are randomized or automatically picked based on the character, which is fucking boring, you could have your own half of the stage. I personally think that it would be a nice way to feel like you have a sense of control in a genre that is notorious for being completely uncontrollable if you're not prepared. And maybe you could have the stages interact as rounds go on and someone's losing, you have their side of the stage get shrunk even more by the other person's side. I don't know, but it got me thinking that there could be so much more that we're doing when it comes to the bit that we're going to be looking at the most after characters and load screens. And health bars, and meter, and if it's Guilty Gear Burst. I want more stages that you can get lost in, much like how the point of this script got lost about 500 words ago. If you think that that's a good idea, I don't know, shoot this video to Tom Cannon or like Seth Killian or something. I'm sure Riot would be down to take a swing at the convention. And also, whilst you're there, tell them to give me a key to the fighting game, and also follow me on Twitter and Twitch, and tell them to make Elise playable. She's literally like the only reason that I play League of Legends.